Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all, and today we are playing Mathmech Utopia. Mathmech Utopia is a really fun and interesting deck. It utilizes the rank 4 engine to give you a huge board of XYZ monsters that will lock your opponent out of the game. It utilizes all the best methods to get as many negates as possible so that you can make sure that you can interrupt your opponent in a variety of ways so that you can be prepared for basically anything. The deck does struggle with going second, primarily because you have to run so much engine that you can't really afford to run too many hand traps. If you would rather have a smaller engine with more one-card combos, I recommend that you play Sharks, but this deck is a lot of fun, and I do recommend trying it at least once, especially since the deck is so cheap. Most of these cards do come from the Utopia structure deck, which is only 500 gems. So, let's get started. For the hand traps, we are playing just two. Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs and Called by the Rave. That's all we can fit. We just want to make sure that we don't get backseed and that we stop our opponent from matching us, basically. Alright, for the Mathmech shell, let's cover that real quick. We're playing one copy of Mathmech Nabla. This is a level 4 Dark Cyberse Tuner monster. You contribute one Cyberse monster to special summon one Mathmech from your deck. The reason why we play this card is so that we can attribute our Mathmech Circular to special summon Mathmech Diameter from our deck, allowing us to get 3 different Mathmech monsters in our graveyard. We are also playing Mathmech Diameter. This is a level 4 Light Cyberse Tuner monster. When this card is normal summon, you can target one level 4 Cyberse monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but it cannot activate its effects. A Mathmech monster that was Synchro or XYZ summoning using this card on the field as material gains this effect. Once per turn during the turn this card was special summoned, when your opponent activates a card or effect, as a quick effect, you can negate that effect. This is a really good card. It allows us to make sure that our opponent cannot interrupt us, because we will simply XYZ summon on their turn and then get an Omni Negate. In particular, this deck does not have many ways to deal with trap cards, so Mathmech Diameter is very important for dealing with evenly matched, which is a real problem for your deck. Next up, we have Mathmech Circular. We are playing this card at 3. You can either search this card with Prime Mathmech Album Version, or you can just open it. You can send one Mathmech monster except Mathmech Circular from your deck to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. Also, you can only attack with one monster for the rest of the turn. If a Mathmech monster is normal or special summoned to your field while you control this monster, except during the damage step, you can add one Mathmech Spore Trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Circular is a really good card. It allows us to draw our Mathmech Superfactorial and win the game, which is pretty nice. We are playing one copy of Mathmech Equation. Mathmech Equation, target one Mathmech monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if you do, it gains 1,000 attack points until the end of this turn. You can only activate one Mathmech Equation per turn. So, the reason why we are playing Mathmech Equation is because Mathmech Equation can revive an XYZ monster. If we actually open Circular as opposed to searching it, then we will probably when we special summon Alan Bershin, we will already have Circular on the board, so we will not need Alan Bershin to search Circular. So Alan Bershin searches us Mathmech Equation instead. Then we can use Mathmech Equation to revive Alan Bershin from the graveyard, allowing us to go into Utopic Draco Future with much less resources. So Circular is an excellent card to open in this deck because of this reason. We're also playing Mathmech Superfactorial. This is the card that we search with Circular. Target up to 3 Mathmech monsters in your graveyard with different names and activate one of these effects. Special summon them, then immediately after effect resolve, Synchro summon a Mathmech Synchro monster using those monsters as material. Or special summon them, but their effects are negated immediately after effect resolves. XYZ summon one Mathmech XYZ monster using only those materials. So we will XYZ into our Prime Mathmech Laplation during our opponent's turn so we can get our Omni Negate. Then we have Prime Mathmech Alan Bershin. This is a rank 4 Cyberse XYZ monster that requires 2 or more level 4 monsters. You contribute one monster to special summon one level 4 Mathmech from your hand or graveyard. If this card is XYZ summoned, you can attach 2 materials from this card, then activate one of the appropriate effects. If you detach 2, you add a Mathmech card from your deck to your hand. If you detach 3, you add a level 4 monster from your deck to your hand. And if you detach 4, you add one spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So, Alan Bershin is a card that Utopia plays anyway, because it allows them to, they will usually, like a pure Utopia deck would go into Alan Bershin, detach 3 to search Astraltopia, so they could get numbers protection. We don't have to do that. So by playing the Mathmech package, we can make it with 2 materials. Then we get circular, and instead of having numbers protection as our omni-negate, we have Mathmech superfactorial as our omni-negate, which is just so much easier to use. And not only is it so much easier to use, it also lets us get a hand rip and a monster or spell destruction on top of the omni-negate. And I'll explain that when I talk about Laplacian. So this is why we're playing the Mathmech package. It's basically, like, the way that Utopia plays, you would basically be playing Alan Bershin anyway. So by putting Mathmech in your deck, you are much better suited to actually use Alan Bershin. However, the cost of that is these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards are not hand traps. That's the cost. So just keep that in mind. Next up, we have Prime Mathmech Laplacian. This is a rank 4 that requires 3 level 4s. If a Mathmech you control will be destroyed by a card effect, you can attach 1 material from this card instead. If this card is XYZ summon, you can attach 3 materials from it, then choose that many effects. You cannot choose the same effect twice. You resolve them in the listing order. Send 1 random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. Send 1 monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. Send 1 spell and trap your opponent controls to the graveyard. So, we XYZ summon this card when our opponent has, a monster on the field. Then we detach 2 materials, we hand rip them, we send one of their cards to the graveyard, and then we also have an omni-negate. It's really, really powerful. Okay, that is the Mathmech package, and it's just so much fun to use. So now that we've talked about that, let's talk about the rest of the deck, which is just Utopia. So, we are playing 3 copies of Utopic Onomatopoeia. This card is always treated as a Zubababa, Gaga, Go Go Go, and Dodo card. During your main phase, you can special summon up to 1 of each Zubaba, Gaga, Go Go Go, or Dodo monster from your hand in defense position, except Utopic Onomatopoeia, and you are locked into XYZ summoning for the rest of the turn. So, don't even bother. There's no links, there's no synchros, it is XYZ only. 15 XYZ cards in the extra deck, we just accept it. We also have Zubaba Bancho Gaga Coat. This is a level 4 Earth Warrior monster. If you control a Zubaba or a Gaga monster, except Gaga Coat, while this card is in your hand, you can special summon it. You can target 1 Go 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 or Dodo monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon for the extra deck for the rest of the turn except XYZ monsters. So this card also locks us. This card's one of the 2 targets that we will summon with our Utopic Onomatopoeia. This is the other card. Dodo Dwarf Go 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 Glove. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 Zubaba or Gaga monster from your hand. If you control a Go 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 or Dodo monster except Dodo Dwarf Go 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 Glove while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves your field. You can only use each effect once per turn. So that's a lot of things to keep track of, but basically just know that Utopic Onomatopoeia being on the field enables Go Go Glove, and Gaga Coat can revive Utopic Onomatopoeia from the graveyard. Next up, we have Zexal Servant Armed Sage, which is a level 5 light warrior monster. If the only monster you control is a level 4 warrior monster, or level 4 monster not named Zexal Servant Armed Sage, you can special summon this card from your hand. That is an inherent summon, and it does not activate an effect. A Utopia XYZ monster that was summoned using this card on the field as material gains this effect. If this card is XYZ summoned, you can add 1 Zexal weapon monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Okay, so this is why we are playing Tornado Bringer. It's debatable about whether you should just cut this and play a hand trap instead and just not worry about using Armed Sage's effect. It is a free card if you happen to draw Armed Sage, but we're not really focused on Armed Sage. It's just an option. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like this list is as close to optimal as I can get it, but I definitely struggle a lot going second because I don't have enough hand traps. I don't think that there's a way to avoid that though. 3 copies of Zexal Servant Ascended Sage. This card is insane. Level 4, 900 attack, 300 defense. If you control no cards, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, so here's the problem with this. A lot of times you will want to bait Ash with Automata Pickup, and Automata Pickup stays on the field. It's a continuous spell card. So if you have Automata Pickup in your hand, remember that you have to summon Zexal Servant Ascended Sage first. It's not if you control no monsters, it's if you control no cards. A Utopia XYZ monster that was summoned using this card on the field as material gains this effect. If this card is Exceed Summon, you can add one Rank Up Magic normal spell from your deck to your hand. This is fully necessary for the combo. You have to resolve this effect in order for you to actually play the game, unless you just open Utopia Force. So, we have a way to special summon this card from the deck, and we will always do so. Astrotopia, level 4 Light Warrior monster. If it exceeds monsters on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can send one other card from your hand or field to the graveyard, add one Exceeds, Onomot, Zexal, or Number spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Astrotopia once per turn. Okay, so Astrotopia, if you're not playing Mathmech, you summon Alan Bersham with 3 materials, and then use that to search Astrotopia so that you can start playing your, get your Numbers protection and play your turn route. We're not doing that. It's debatable whether we should play Astrotopia at 3 because we're not searching it nearly as much as a regular Utopia deck, but I feel like that's greedy. You don't really typically want to discard a card from your hand to use this effect. So primarily what this card is useful for is it can pitch Onomata Pickup, which has already used its effect in order to grab Numbers protection, which is, I mean, it's a good interruption, but we don't have to give up a card from our hand to use the Mathmech package. So that's why I feel the Mathmech package is just straight up better. Zexal Weapon Tornado Bringer. You can target a Utopia monster you control, equip this card from your hand or field to that target. It gains 1,300 attack points. That is not once per turn. So, interestingly enough, if your opponent has an effect that forces them to negate cards, like Light and Darkness Dragonlord, you can use this card to force that effect over and over again, which is really funny. While this card is equipped to a monster, your opponent cannot target that monster with card effects. If the equipped monster would be destroyed in battle, destroy this card instead. You can only control 1 Tornado Bringer. It's a really good card. Searchable with the Arm Sage, and this will make it so that your Leo Utopia Ray can't be targeted, so that you can keep your 2 negates on the board, which is really useful. Zexal Weapon Pegasus Twin Saber. Oh god, this card is such a brick. This card has ruined like 3 of my games tonight. You can only control 1 if your opponent's life points are at least 2,000 higher than yours. You can special summon this card from your hand. You can target 1 Utopia monster you control, equip this card you control to it as an equipped spell that gives it 1,000 attack points. And then once per turn, while this card is equipped to a monster, you can negate a monster effect activated on your opponent's field. The effect is really good, but you can't special summon it from your hand unless you have less than 2,000 life points than your opponent. So, and you can't equip it from the hand like you can Tornado Bringer. It has to be on the field. So, mainly we play this card so that we can attach it from the deck with Leo Utopia Ray, but it being like in the deck as a card you can draw makes it so bricky. Gosh, I hate this card. When my deck is all gas and I need it to be all gas, this card ruins me. Reinforcement of the Army, draw a level 4 warrior. We are always going to use this on Ascended Sage. Good job. Onomatopoeia, this card is broken. You can only activate 1 Onomatopoeia per turn. Send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, add up to 2 monsters from your deck to your hand. You cannot add 2 from the same category. 1 Zubaba, 1 Gagaga, 1 Go-Go-Go, 1 Da-Da-Da. Alright, so this card will just draw you like Gagaga Coat and Da-Da-Da Dwarf, or Utopic Onomatopoeia and Da-Da-Da Dwarf, or whatever combination you need. It's really good. Make sure that you have all 3. Zexal Construction. Reveal 1 card in your hand. If you do, add 1 of the following cards from your deck to your hand, then shuffle the revealed card into the deck. A Zexal Weapon monster, a Zexal Servant monster, a Zexal Spell or Trap, a Rank Up Magic Spell, or a Rank Down Magic Spell. You can only activate 1 Zexal Construction per turn. Alright, so this card will draw you Zexal Servant Ascended Sage, just like Rhoda does. It also lets you put a card from your hand back into your deck, so in particular this card is very important for if you draw Double or Nothing, because you can't actually use Utopia Double's effect unless Double or Nothing is in your deck to be drawn. So now we're not going to play more than 1 copy of Double or Nothing. It's terrible. So sometimes we will just lose the game unless we can Zexal Construction to put it back. This card is searchable with Astrotopia. Hyper Rank Up Magic Utopia Force. This is like the entire point of the deck. It's this normal spell card. Target 1 rank 9 or lower Utopia Exceeds monster you control. Special summon 1 rank 10 or higher Utopia or Utopic Exceeds monster from your X deck, using that Exceeds monster you control as material. This is treated as an Exceeds summon. Transfer its materials to the summon monster. If an Exceeds monster is special summoned by the effect of a rank 10 or higher Utopia or Utopic Exceeds monster while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, and you target 1 of those special summon monsters, attach this card to it as material. You can only use each effect once per turn. This card's great. So we search this card off of our Zexal Servant Ascended Sage, we activate it, we use it to rank up into our rank 12, number 99 Utopic Dragonar. which is an insanely good card, and we'll get to there in a second. So this is the entire point of the deck, and we play this at 1, and we don't play any more copies of it. We don't need to. Xyz Change Tactics. This card is also searchable with Utopia. Continuous spell card. When a Utopia monster is Xyz summoned to your field, you can pay 500 life points to draw 1 card. You can only control 1 of these. This is not once per turn, so you can draw like 5 cards off of your combo. You do take 2,500 points of damage, but in theory, that would allow you to just special summon your Pegasus Twin Saber from your hand, so I guess it's kind of worth it. I don't know. I've done this like once. It's really funny. It is really funny, but it feels really unnecessary. Automata Pickup. Continuous spell card. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Automata card from your deck to your hand, except Automata Pickup, which is going to be your Automata Para, and that's perfectly fine. You can target 1 Zubaba, Gagaga, Go, or Dodo Dwarf monster. All monsters you currently control become that monster's level until the end of the turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. You can only activate 1 Automata Pickup per turn. Okay. So, I mean, this card's fine. It just draws you Automata Para, which is all it needs to do. And then you can pitch it with Utopia to get another card from your deck. Double or Nothing. Quick play spell card. When a monster's attack is negated, target that monster. It can make a second attack during this battle phase. If it does, its attack is damaged double during the damage step only. Okay. This is the only problem with the Mathmech engine. Mathmech Circular says that you can only attack with 1 monster during the turn you use its effect. And you can't use any of the Mathmech cards to enhance your Utopia monsters since they're not cybers. So if you use Circular, it makes it really hard to OT. So if you go into Utopia double, and then you go into Utopia, then you attack and you double or nothing, you have 10,000 attack points, which means that your opponent's monster needs to have 2,000 or less attack points for you to kill them, which is not that common, unfortunately. And if you don't kill them, and you can't attack with more than 1 monster, you might not win the game. You can make Zeus, which does help you a lot, but just keep that in mind, that this is like the one drawback. The Mathmech engine makes you so insanely good when you go first, but if you use the Mathmech engine when you go second, you usually will kill yourself. Last card is Numbers Protection. This is a counter trap card. When a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated while you control a number Xyz monster, negate the activation. If you do, destroy the card. If a number Xyz monster you control is destroyed by a battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use 1 Numbers Protection effect per turn, only once that turn. It's fantastic. It's a repeatable Omni Negate that you can search. Good card, play it at 1. Okay. For the extra deck, we have Number F0 Utopic Future. Requires 2 Xyz monsters with the same rank that are not number monsters. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Neither player takes battle damage from attacks involving this card. At the end of the damage step, if this card battled an opponent's monster, you can take control of that opponent's monster until the end of the battle phase. If this face-up card on the field would be destroyed by a card effect, you can attach 1 material from it instead. Decent card, you know. Good boss monster from a long time ago. But we would rather make its big brother. Number F0 Utopic Draco Future. This requires 3 Xyz monsters with the same rank except number monsters. This card's original rank is always treated as 1. This card is always treated as a Utopic Future monster. You can also Xyz summon this card by using number F0 Utopic Future you control as material. So this card literally just ranks up into Utopic Future. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, as a quick effect you can attach 1 material from this card, negate the activation, then if that monster is on the field, gain control of it. So this is, I believe, one of the only Utopia cards that actually has a negate, besides Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray. So it's a really good card for us to have access to, and I mean, just a good card. Unfortunately, it's not rank 10, even though it has a huge amount of attack points. So we can't use Hyper Rank Up Magic Utopia Force to make it, but we can just make it normally. Usually we'll use Alimbertion and then Zexal Servant, what is it called? Zexal Servant Utopic Sage. We'll use those 2 monsters as material to make Utopic Future, which makes us UDF. It's a good card. Number 39 Utopia requires 2 level 4 monsters. When a monster declares an attack, you can attach 1 material from this card to negate the attack. If this card is targeted for an attack while it has no materials, destroy it. Okay. So we can make this card with our number 39 Utopia double its attack points. Then we can either rank it up and go into Dragonar with 4 materials, or we can use Double or Nothing to attack for 10,000. Either way, it's a good card. I like it a lot. Abyss Dweller requires 2 level 4s. While this card has a material attached to it that was originally water, all water monsters you control gain 500 attack points. Once per turn as a quick effect, you can attach 1 material from this card. Your opponent can activate any card effects in their graveyard this turn. This card is insane against Tyr. It's insane against Fiendsmith. It's just a good card overall. And it's not a number monster, so you can make it, use its effects so that your opponent can't mess with you, and then use it to make UDF. Good card. Number S39 Utopia Prime. This is a rank 4 monster that requires 3 level 4 light monsters. You can also exceed summon this card by using number 39 you control as material. If your opponent's life points are at least 3,000 higher than yours, you can detach 3 materials from this card, pay life points so that you only have 10 left, destroy as many special summon monsters your opponent controls as possible. If you do, banish them, then inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each monster banished. So, this is basically, we need a monster that we can rank Utopia into, so that we can go into our Dragonar with 4 materials. And this card is slightly better than Chaos number 39 Utopia Ray. Only slightly. It does let us blow up the whole field in some instances, which makes it slightly useful, but it can get Lancia'd, unfortunately. So if it gets Lancia'd, then you kind of are big sad. So yeah, I don't expect anything special from this card. It's just a stepping stone. Number 39 Utopia Double, literally the best card in the deck. Requires 2 level 4 monsters. As a quick effect, you can attach 1 material from this card, draw double or nothing, then special summon a Utopia XYZ monster from your X deck by using this face-up card you control as material. If you do, its attack points become doubled, but it can never attack directly. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, this lets us make any Utopia XYZ monster. So we can make, if we're going full combo, we make Utopia, then we go into Utopia Prime, and then we rank it up. But we can also go into we can go into Dragonar directly. And we can also go into Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray, because his name is always treated as Chaos number 39 Utopia Ray. So, and we can also go into Utopia Rising. So, this card is very flexible. It has a lot of different options, and it basically will let you do whatever you need to, which is, I mean, just a really good card. Next up, we have Zexal Servant Utopic Sage. This is a rank 4 that requires 2 level 4 monsters. You can detach 2 materials from this card, special summon a Zexal Weapon or Zexal Servant monster from your deck. Also, for the rest of the turn, you can only attack with numbered monsters, and you cannot special summon from the extra deck except XYZ monsters. You can only use this effect once per turn. If a Utopia or a Utopic XYZ monster you control whose original attribute is light would be banished by, would be destroyed by battle or card effect except Zexal Servant Utopic Sage, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard instead. Actually, I've never read that effect. That's really good. So, so when you use this card to make your UDF, detach this card as a material to use UDF's effect, so it's in your graveyard. Yeah, it's a great card. We use it to special summon the Ascended Sage from the deck so that we always have its effect live. Number 39 Utopia Rising. This card is actually really good. It's a rank 4 with 0 attack and 2,000 defense. If this card is special summoned, you can target a number XYZ monster in your graveyard except number 39 Utopia Rising, revive it in defense position, then you can attach all materials from this card and attach them to that monster. If you XYZ summon except during the damage step, so you can special summon this card from your graveyard but banish it when it leaves the field. And its effect triggers on special summon, not on XYZ summon. So you can use the effect twice to revive 2 different monsters. Really, really useful effect. And then, of course, you can also play your Hyper Rank Up Magic Utopia Force on Utopia Rising. So, this card basically will just let you summon... what I use it for is I use it to revive my UDF if a game goes too long. And then, like, UDF comes back with 2 materials, and then you can just take monsters and win the game that way. Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray requires 3 level 5s, always treated as Chaos number 39 Utopia Ray. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, equip 1 Zexal Weapon monster from your deck or extract to this card if it were equipped by that monster's effect. This effect's activation and effect cannot be negated, so it can't get impermed or anything like that. Once per turn, while this card is equipped with a Zexal Weapon monster card, as a quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, and if you do, it halves its attack points permanently. So it's a targeted effect, but it is basically imperm. And then it also lets you equip your Pegasus Twin Saber, which says, once per turn, while this card is equipped to a monster, you can negate a monster effect activated on your opponent's field. So it's a, that's an on-resolution negate, which is really, really powerful. So this represents 2 negates. It's insanely good, and it's free because it's in the Utopia structure deck. So, excellent card. Then we have number 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. This is a rank 8 that requires 2 level 8s. Once per turn, when a spell card or effect is activated on the field, as a quick effect, you can negate that effect. If you do, attach that card to this card as material. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can attach 1 material from this card, change the attack target to this card, and perform damage calculation. If another face-up Xyz monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 face-up Xyz monster you control. It gains attack points equal to one of those destroyed monsters' original attack points. So, Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy can be special summoned during our opponent's turn with the effect of Dragonar to give us a spell negate on top of all our monster negates, which is a very useful effect for us to have, and it's a good card. Divine Arsenal AA Zeus the Sky Thunder. This is a rank 12. Once per turn, if an Xyz monster battled this turn, you can also Xyz summon Divine Arsenal AA Zeus the Sky Thunder by using 1 Xyz monster you control as material. As a quick effect, you can attach 2 materials from this card, send all other cards on the field to the graveyard. That is not once per turn, nor is it once per chain, which is insane. Once per turn, if another card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can attach 1 card from your hand, deck, or extra deck to this card as material. So it gives you more material so you can keep blowing up the field. Very, very good card. Sending all cards on the field to the graveyard is insane. It doesn't destroy, it doesn't banish, it can't interrupt, it doesn't target. It's just a really good card. Like, Zeus is an insane card. Every Xyz deck should play it. And lastly, we have our boss monster, number 99, Utopia Dragonar. This is a rank 12, 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense. It is a warrior for some reason, even though it's very clearly a dragon. As a quick effect, you can attach 2 materials from this card, special summon from your extra deck 1 number monster that has a number between 1 and 100 in its name. This is treated as an Xyz summon. The turn you activate this effect, other monsters you control cannot attack directly. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except Xyz monsters. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can change the attack of the opponent's monster to 0 permanently. You can only use each effect of number 99 Utopia Dragonar once per turn. So it literally special summons any number monster from your deck. But you can't have monsters attack directly if you use its effect. So you make this going first, you use its effect on turn 1, and then you use its effect on your opponent's turn 1. And then by the time it comes back to your turn, you don't have any materials left, so you don't trap yourself. So first up, we're going to make Utopia Ray, so we have 2 negates. Then during our opponent's turn, we'll make Hope Harbinger, so we have a spell negate. So it's just a really solid, powerful card. It's the entire linchpin of our strategy. Let's take a look at a replay so you guys can see it in action. Alright, so we're going first against Ice Bear. Now this deck is, we have an insane hand. This hand is absolutely crazy. We have 2 copies of our monsters that we need for materials. We have Onomatopoeia, we have Xyz Change Tactics so we can draw a bunch of cards, and we have Zexal Construction. So we are just in a really good position as long as we don't get Maxied. We'll activate Xyz Change Tactics first, then we activate Onomatopoeia. We're going to discard our Utopic Onomatopoeia since we can revive it from the graveyard, draw Utopic Onomatopoeia and go Dwarf, go Glove. Then we'll special summon both of our monsters with Utopic Onomatopoeia and then use Go Coat to revive 2. Now we Xyz into our Prime Mathmech Alimbertion, and we'll use its effect to attach 2 to get Circular. Special summon Circular by milling Nabla. Alimbertion tribute itself, special summon back the Nabla, that triggers Circular's effect to draw Super Factorial. Nabla tributes Circular, special summon the Diameter from the deck. Now we have all of our Mathmech monsters in rotation. Xyz 2 into the Utopic Sage. Now we're going to use Dodo Dwarf Go Gloves effect from the graveyard. Since we control a Dodo monster, we can special summon it back. Xyz into Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller, detach, turn off all our opponent's graveyard. Zexal Silver and Utopic Sage, special summon the Ascended Sage from the deck, and now we'll use these 2 monsters to Xyz into our Utopic Future, which we will then break up into UDF. So that's pretty cool. These are Utopic monsters, by the way, not Utopia monsters, so we can't draw a card. Alright, now we're going to use these 2 monsters to Xyz into Utopia Double. We trigger Xyz Change Tactic as a Chain Link 1, and then Utopia Double as a Chain Link 2 to search our Hyper Rank Up Magic Utopia Force. We draw a card. Then we'll activate Zexal Construction. We put back our Gaga Coats to get our Tornado Bringer. Utopia Double, detach 1. Draw double or nothing. Xyz into Utopia. We draw a card. Activate the Onomatopoeia pickup right now so we can draw a card from our deck. Rank up the Utopia into Utopia Prime. We draw another card. We drew Ash. Hyper rank up Magic Utopia Force. Rank up the Utopia Prime into the Dragonar. Exceed Change Tactics, pay 500. Dragonar, detach 2. We special summon the Leo Utopia Ray. We draw another card. Hyper rank up Magic Utopia Force attaches. We've paid 2,500 life points, which means that we've drawn 5 cards. Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray, detach 1. Equip the Twin Saber. Then we'll equip the Zexal Weapon Tornado Bringer. We set our Super Factorial and we pass. Now, since we set Super Factorial, we need 3 zones open on the board to use Super Factorial, which means that we can't use Utopia Dragonar's effect to summon our Hope Harbinger until after we've resolved Mathmech Super Factorial. So when you do this, you have like a choice. You can either Super Factorial during the draw phase to make sure that you have an Omni Negate right at the start, or you can wait and then you can Super Factorial after your opponent has played a card so that you have more value out of the Laplation, since Laplation can send a monster, spell trap, and a card from the hand to the graveyard. If you fire off the Laplation right away, you have the Omni Negate at the start of the turn along with the spell negate, but you're only getting a hand rip. You're not removing a card from your opponent's field. And Utopia does kind of struggle with getting cards off the board. Most of our negates don't actually destroy. So let's take a look at what we do. Our opponent draws. They're going to start things off with Gift Exchange, which is a funny card. We're going to give them Rhoda. Alright, then they normal summon Mirror Mage of the Ice Barrier, which is terrifying. Now I know they're playing Ice Barrier. I'm going to immediately activate Super Factorial before they can summon a monster and tribute it with Mirror Mage of the Ice Barrier. We summon our 3 Mathmech monsters back from the graveyard, exceeds them into Prime Mathmech Laplation with our Super Factorial. Alright, Laplation's effect is a Chain Link 1, detach 2. Dragonar's effect is a Chain Link 2, detach 2. We're going to send a card from our opponent's field and hand to the graveyard, and we're going to rank up into Titanic Galaxy to give ourselves a spell negate as well, and our opponent is going to concede. We hand rip the Barrier Statue of the Torrent, by the way. Alright, so there you go. That is the power of this deck. You can see we had 5 Exceeds monsters on the board. We had negates, we had disruption. Our opponent was not able to stop us. The deck is kind of vulnerable to hand traps, so that's why we play 2 copies of Call by the Grave, and we have some special summons from the hand, so we can play through things. Anyway, so that's my deck and my guide. My name is Strafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.